overload, calcium overload, if you see it here, then it goes into the cell here, that calcium here, and it causes here the harm to the mitochondria there as such here. Okay, which is interrupting that generation of ATP. This will be the thing there as such here. That will be the calcium overload there as such here. Okay, these are the things which are happening in what they are irreversible cell injury. Irreversible cell injury means what here? In the pathogenesis of irreversible cell injury, that is nothing but the cell undergoes cell death there as such here. Okay, the cell undergoes cell death here. That is the thing happening there. Okay, then after that, generation of reactive oxygen radicals here. This thing also we have discussed there as such here. Superoxide gets formed, hydrogen peroxide. Okay, that also gets formed. Hydroxyl radical is also getting formed here. These are the things which are very harmful to the cell there as such here. Okay, then cytotoxicity of oxygen free radicals there as such here. Cytotoxicity of oxygen free radicals. Okay, free radicals are formed in physiologic okay, as well as pathologic processes there as here, and these are very harmful to what here, our body there as here. Okay, generally, okay, they are causing what here, these particular free radicals, they are causing lipid peroxidation there as here, as hydrogen peroxide is getting formed there as here, lipid peroxidation here as here. Okay, then after that, oxidation of proteins it is causing there as here, that protein will get damaged there as here. Okay, oxygen derived free radicals cause cell injury by oxidation of protein macromolecules of the cells, cross linkages of labile amino acids, as well as by fragmentation of the polypeptide directly. Okay, the end result is the degradation of cytosolic neutral proteases and cell destruction here. Okay, then after the DNA damage, even it can cause there as such here. Free radicals cause breaks in the single strands of the nuclear and mitochondrial DNA here. This results in cell injury. It may also cause malignant transformation of the cells here. These particular free radicals here. Okay, got it here. Cytoskeletal damage there as such here. We have discussed that cytoskeleton. What cytoskeleton is there? Okay, that will be the thing there as such here. Okay, cytoskeleton. Okay, that microfilament. Okay, then intermediate filament, and that is nothing but the outer filament there as such here. Whatever. Okay, it gets damaged in this particular process there as such here. The conditions with free radical injury there as such here. Conditions with free radical injury here. Okay, currently oxygen derived, okay, oxygen derived free radicals have been known to play an important role in many forms of cell injury there as such here. Okay, like that of ischemia, reperfusion injury, ionizing radiation by causing radiolysis of water, chemical toxicity, chemical carcinogenesis, hyperoxia. Okay, oxygen therapy, toxicity due to oxygen therapy, then cellular aging, killing of microbial agents, inflammatory damage, destruction of tumor cells, atherosclerosis. Then antioxidants are there. Antioxidants are destroying this particular process here. Antioxidants are endogenous or exogenous substances which inactivate the free radicals here. These substances include the following: vitamin E, A, C. EAC. C means nothing but the vitamin C, ascorbic acid. Sulfhydryl containing compounds, example cysteine and glutathione. Okay, these are the compounds which are acting there as antioxidants here. Okay, which are neutralizing the what here? That okay, antioxidants here. Then subsequent inflammation reaction there as such here. They have given there as such. Okay, subsequent inflammatory reaction here. Okay, what is that subsequent inflammatory reaction there? Calcium overload. Okay, that is the next mechanism. Okay, subsequent inflammatory reaction. These are the things which are involved in what here? The pathogenesis of irreversible cell injury there as such here. Irreversible cell injury there, we can say there as such here. Okay, irreversible cell injury. Okay, under irreversible cell injury, which part we are discussing there as such here? We are discussing here under irreversible cell injury. We are discussing here the part that is nothing but ischemia, reperfusion injury, and free radical mediated cell injury there as such here. Okay, under that, okay, these are the mechanisms here: calcium overload. Okay, subsequent inflammatory reaction here. These are the things here. Yes, students, are you able to listen me? Yes, students.
Yes, sir.
Then no problem here. Okay, then this is the thing there. Then after this particular subsequent inflammatory reaction may also occur there as such here. Okay, ischemia reperfusion event is followed by inflammatory reaction there as such here. Okay, incoming that is activated neutrophils utilize oxygen quickly, oxygen burst, and release a lot of oxygen free radicals. Ischemia is also associated with accumulation of precursors of ATP, namely ADP and pyruvate. Okay, namely ADP and pyruvate, which further build up generation of free radicals here. Pathogenesis of chemical injury. Okay, pathogenesis of chemical injury, chemicals induce. Okay, cell injury by one of the two mechanisms, by direct cytotoxicity or by what we can say here, conversion of chemicals into the reactive metabolites here. Okay, these are the pathogenesis. The pathogenesis in chemical injury they have given there as here. Pathogenesis of chemical injury. What is it? Direct cytotoxic effect and conversion to reactive toxic metabolites there as here. Okay, conversion to okay, by conversion of chemical into the reactive metabolites there as here. Reactive toxic metabolites. Okay. Okay, separately the pathogenesis they have given. Pathogenesis, hypoxia, ischemia, then pathogenesis for physical injury, pathogenesis for chemical injury. Like this, the separately they have given there as such. Direct cytotoxic effect the chemicals can show, like the chemicals like that of mercury chloride. Okay, that is the thing there as such. Okay, so these are the things which it is causing there as such. On what here? This substances on these cells here. Okay. Now, conversion to the reactive toxic metabolite there. That even the thing can happen there as such here. Okay, because of that particular reaction here. Even the conversion of the okay substances. Okay, conversion to reactive toxic metabolites here. This mechanism involves metabolic activation to yield ultimate toxin that interacts with the toxic target cells here. The target cells in this group of chemicals may not be the same cell that metabolize the toxin there at such that metabolize the toxin there at such the mechanism involves metabolic activation to yield ultimate toxin that interacts with target cells. So the target cells in this group of chemicals may not be the same cell that metabolize the toxin. Example of cell injury by conversion of reactive metabolites is toxic liver necrosis caused by carbon tetrachloride there at such. Okay, example of cell injury by conversion. Okay, okay, that is what example of cell injury by conversion of reactive metabolites. Reactive metabolites, okay, is toxic liver necrosis caused by carbon tetrachloride, acetaminophen, okay, commonly used analgesic and antipyretic, and bromobenzene there as such here. The target cells in this group, okay, this mechanism involves metabolic activation to yield ultimate toxin that interacts with the target cells. The target cells in this group of chemicals may not be the same cell that metabolize the toxin there at the zero. Okay, okay, okay. Yes. Example of cell injury by conversion of reactive metabolites is toxic liver necrosis caused by carbon tetrachloride. Okay, liver necrosis also is caused by the carbon tetrachloride. And acetaminophen, commonly used analgesic and antipyretic here. It even converts the paracetamol into one toxic metabolite. That metabolite goes and harms to the hepatocytes here in liver there. Okay, means this is also the one thing there as such here. That is the conversion to reactive toxic metabolite there as such here. Cell injury by CCl4 is the classic example of an industrial toxin earlier used in dry cleaning industry here. That produces cell injury by conversion to a highly toxic free radical CCl3 in the body's drug metabolizing P450 enzyme system in the liver cells. Thus, it produces profound liver injury by free radical generation there, etc. Other mechanism of cell injury includes direct toxic effect on cell membranes and nucleus here. Pathogenesis of physical injury there, etc. Toxic metabolites. The example is ideal here, CCl4, because of formation of carbon trichloride metabolite. Okay, by the action of enzyme cytochrome P450 there, etc. That is drug metabolizing P450 enzyme system in the liver cells. It's okay here. Pathogenesis of physical injury there at the okay, physical injury is also there. The pathogenesis also involved in that particular physical injury there at the injuries caused by mechanical force are of medical legal significance, but they may lead to a state of shock. Injuries by changes in atmospheric pressure, example decompression sickness, are detailed. Okay, those are detailed there at the okay. Radiation injury to human by accidental or therapeutic exposure is of importance in treatment of persons with malignant tumors as well as may have carcinogenic influences there at the killing of cells by ionizing radiations. Okay, ionizing radiations is the result of direct formation of hydroxyl radicals from radiolysis of water there. These hydroxyl radicals damage the cell membrane. Okay, cell what here damage to the cell membrane. Okay, is the result of direct formation of hydroxyl radicals from radiolysis of water. These hydroxyl radicals damage the cell membrane as well as may interact with the DNA of the target cell. In proliferating cells, there is inhibition of DNA replication and eventual cell death by apoptosis. epithelial cell. Okay, this is the thing there. In non-proliferating cells, there is no effect of inhibition of DNA synthesis, and in these cells there is cell membrane damage followed by cell death by necrosis here, neurons. Okay, in non-proliferating cells there is no effect of inhibition of DNA synthesis. There is no effect of inhibition of DNA synthesis, and in these cells there is cell membrane damage followed by cell death by necrosis, example neurons. In non-proliferating cells, okay, these cells are not undergoing proliferation here. Non-proliferating cells like that of neurons, we can see here. Morphology of cell injury they have given here. It is what here? Morphology of cell injury. That is the next part there. Next part is what here? Morphology of cell injury. Will you be able to remember here then, students, what the things are there? Yes, students. Yes, students. Whatever the points we have discussed, we just remember it here. Okay, the pathogenesis point of this cell injury we have discussed. Before that, etiology we discussed there as such here. Before that, etiology we have discussed there as such here. Okay, these were the points. Okay, pathogenesis, under pathogenesis we have discussed so many things there as such here. Okay, convergent to reactive metabolites and all these things there as such here, whatever were there. Morphology of cell injury now we will see there as such here. Morphology of cell injury there as such here. Under morphology of cell injury, there are that what here, certain things there as such. Okay, hydropic change. Okay, then so many things whatever they have given there as such here, these things we will discuss there as such here. Subcellular alterations, mitochondrial intracellular accumulations. Okay, these are the points which they have given there as such here. As you will come across the book there as such here, Harsh Mohan. Okay, you will be able to see that one there as such here, that what the things are there in that particular book. That is nothing but the Hirschman there as such here. Okay, morphology of that particular cell injury they have given there as such here. Morphology of cell injury. What is the morphology there as such? Morphology means what here? That whenever the cell is injured, how is the morphology of that particular injured cell? Okay, that study is done under this particular morphology of cell injury there as such here. Okay, so this is the part here, morphology of cell injury. After discussion the molecular and biochemical mechanisms of various forms of cell injury. Okay, we will now turn to the light microscopic morphologic changes of reversible and irreversible cell injury here. Depending upon the severity of cell injury, degree of damage and residual effects on cells and tissues, okay, are variable there as such here. Okay, depending upon severity of cell injury, degree of damage and residual effects on cells, okay, and tissues are variable there as such here. Okay, degree of damage and residual effects on cells and tissues are variable there as such here. In general, morphologic changes in various forms of cell injury, okay, in general morphologic changes in various forms of cell injury, okay, can be classified as shown in table 3.2. okay, as shown in table 3.2 there as such here. Morphology of, first of all here we will see morphology of the reversible cell injury there as such here. Reversible cell injury, how is the morphology there? Okay, that morphology we will study there as such here. What is the meaning of reversible cell injury? Yes, students. Yes. What is the meaning of reversible cell injury? Anyone? Yes, Hari Om. What is the meaning of reversible cell injury? Reversible means what here? Although the cell is damaged, but it can come to its original position after that stress is removed, or after what here, whatever that particular change has occurred in that particular cell. Okay, it can regain its original form, that particular cell. It is called as reversible change. Reversible means what? It will be damaged also, and it will come to its original position also. Means damage is not too high there as such here. Got it here? Hari Om? Yes, Hari Om. If our
Yes, sir.
if one cell is there, na, if that cell is getting slightly damaged, but after that damage, that cell can come to its original position there. Okay, it is called as reversible cell injury. This injury is called as reversible cell injury. This is the thing there. Okay, now
Yes, sir.
yes, after this, the injury can be of irreversible type also. Irreversible means what? As there is a damage, the cell will not come to its original position, but the cell will undergo death there at the chair. That is cell death there at the chair. Cell death will occur here. It is irreversible cell injury here. We have already discussed this one there at the chair. If the stress is given, okay, to the cells, okay, in what here? To the large extent here, then in that particular condition, the cell will not come to its or will not return to its original position, but it will undergo death. That is cell death there as such here. Cell death will occur there like this. Okay, in conventional description of morphologic changes, the term degeneration has been used to denote morphology of reversible cell injury there as such here. Okay, to denote the morphology of reversible cell injury here. However, now it is realized that this term does not provide any information on the nature of underlying changes, and thus currently more acceptable for terms of retrogressive. Okay, that is what here? Retrogressive changes or simply reversible cell injury are applied to non-lethal cell injury there as such here. Non-lethal means non-killing or non-dying cell injury there as such. Following morphologic forms of reversible cell, what here? Following. Okay, morphologic forms of reversible cell injury are included under this heading: hydropic change, cloudy swelling, vacuolar degeneration. The second one, fatty change. Third one, hyaline change. And the fourth one is mucoid change there as such here. Hydropic change. Hydropic change means what here? Accumulation of water within the cytoplasm of the cell. It is called as hydropic change there as such here. Okay. Okay, it is called as what there as such here? Yes, it is called as the thing that is nothing but yes. Okay, that is nothing but hydropic change there as such here. Classification of morphologic forms of cell injury. You just see, reversible under reversible, okay, reversible cell injury. Retrogressive changes are there as such here. Older term degeneration there as such here. Okay, then reversible cell injury. Then irreversible under irreversible cell injury. What is there? Cell death, necrosis is there. Then programmed cell death. Okay, that is also the one form of morphological forms of cell injury. Programmed cell death, that is apoptosis. Then residual effects of cell injury. Subcellular alterations are there as such here. Then deranged cell metabolism here, intracellular accumulations of lipid, protein, and carbohydrates here. Then after effects of, okay, that is after effects of necrosis here, gangrene, pathologic calcification, like these things will happen there as such here. Okay, hydropic change is there as such here. In hydropic change, the excess quantity of water gets accumulated inside the cytoplasm of the cell. Other synonyms used are cloudy swelling or for that is gross appearance of the affected organ, and vacuolar degeneration due to cytoplasmic vacuolation. Etiology is what here for this particular thing there as such here. This is the commonest and earliest form of the cell injury from almost all causes. Okay, the common causes include acute and subacute cell injury from various etiologic agents such as bacterial toxins, chemicals, poisons, okay, burns, high fever, intravenous administration of hypertonic glucose or saline, etc. There as such here. Hypertonic glucose or saline, etc. There as such here. That is the thing there. Then pathogenesis here. Okay, then it is what here? Pathogenesis there as such here. That is the thing there. Okay, it is the thing there as such here. Okay, so that is the idea here so far regarding this part there as such here. Then after that, pathogenesis there as such here. Pathogenesis is there. Okay, in pathogenesis, okay, that is the etiology of that particular hydropic change there as such they have given there. Okay, then pathogenesis, cloudy swelling. Okay, the pathogenesis of cloudy swelling or atrophy. What is the name of that particular thing? That is not atrophy, but it's a hydropic change. Hydropic change. Okay, cloudy swelling results from impaired regulation of sodium and potassium at the level of cell membrane there. This results in intracellular accumulation of sodium and escape of potassium there as such here. Okay, this results in, okay, intracellular accumulation of sodium and escape of potassium. This in turn leads to rapid flow of water into the cell to maintain isoosmotic conditions, and hence cellular swelling occurs here. Okay, because here inside this, in this particular condition here, okay, cloudy swelling results from impaired regulation of sodium and potassium at the level of cell membrane there as such here. Okay, when extracellular sodium comes inside the cell, and accumulates inside the cell. Okay, we know where the sodium will go, water will go with the sodium there as such. If the sodium goes inside the cell, water will go with the sodium there. Okay, inside the cell there. Here in this condition, the sodium concentration inside the cell increases here. That's why water level also inside the cell, that is in cytoplasm, it increases. That's why cell swells there as such. That is the thing there. That's why cell undergoes damage there as such. This is the thing there as such. Okay, this results in what here? This in turn leads to the rapid flow of water into the cell to maintain isosmotic conditions, and hence cellular swelling occurs. In addition, influx of calcium too occurs. Hydropic swelling. Okay, hydropic swelling is an entirely reversible change upon removal of the injurious agent there as such. It's a reversible change here. Okay, friends, remember it here. Then morphologic features are there as such here. Morphologic features, you can see it here in this particular figure there as such here. Figure 3.11 there as such. Grossly affected organs such as kidney, liver, pancreas, or heart muscle is enlarged due to swelling here. The cut surface bulges outwards and is slightly opaque. Microscopically, it is characterized by the following features. Okay, the cells are swollen. You can see this particular diagram in your notes. These notes are already given to you here. You can see this particular diagram. Okay, and in the diagram, the cells are swollen and the microvascular, that is vasculature, microvasculature compressed there as such here. The cells are swollen and the microvasculature vasculature is compressed there as such here. Small clear vacuoles are seen in the cells, and hence the term vacuolar degeneration there as such here. These vacuoles represent distended cisternae of the endoplasmic reticulum there as such here. Small cytoplasmic blebs, okay, may be seen. The nucleus may appear pale. The nucleus is inside the, okay, the nucleus inside the cell may appear pale there as such here. Okay, hyaline change there as such here. Morphologic changes they have given here. Hyaline change here. Okay, hyaline. The word hyaline means glassy. Hyaline is a descriptive histologic term for glassy, homogeneous, eosinophilic appearance of material in that is hematoxylin there as such here, and eosin stain sections. Okay, hyaline change. The word hyaline means glassy. Okay, hyaline is a descriptive histologic term for glassy, homogeneous, eosinophilic appearance of material in that is hematoxylin and eosin stained sections, and does not refer to any specific substance here. Though fibrin and amyloid have hyaline appearance there as such here. Fibrin and amyloid there as such here. Okay, these are the proteins there as such here. Hyaline. Okay, they have distinctive features and staining reactions and can be distinguished from non-specific hyaline material there as such here. Okay, hyaline change is here the hyaline change is associated with heterogeneous pathologic conditions there. It may be intracellular or extracellular there as such here. Hyaline is a one type of cartilage. Hyaline change here. Intracellular hyaline there as such here. Intracellular hyaline is mainly seen in epithelial cells there. Remember it here. Hyaline. Okay. Intracellular hyaline there as such here. Okay. So that is nothing but that intracellular hyaline there. Hyaline change is also seen there as such. Okay. This is the thing there as such we have already seen there as such here. Okay, hyaline change there as such here. Hyaline change. Okay, hydropic change we have discussed there as such here. Hydropic change or vacuolar degeneration. Okay, hyaline change now we are discussing. Okay, intracellular hyaline change here. Intracellular hyaline. Okay, intracellular hyaline is mainly seen in epithelial cells. A few examples are as follows. Hyaline droplets in the proximal tubular epithelial cells in case of excessive reabsorption of plasma proteins there as such here. Okay, hyaline droplets in the that is in the proximal. Okay, hyaline droplets in the proximal tubular epithelial cells in cases of excessive, okay, reabsorption of plasma proteins. Hyaline degeneration of rectus abdominalis. Okay, rectus abdominalis there as such here muscle called Jenker's degeneration here, occurring in typhoid fever there as such here. Hyaline degeneration there as such. The muscle loses its fibrillar staining and becomes glassy and hyaline there as such here. Becomes glassy and hyaline there as such here. Okay. Then Mallory hyaline, like this, the different things are happening there as such here. In what here? That hyaline. Okay. In that what here? Hyaline material there as such here. This material is generally seen in epithelial cells here. Hyaline. Hyaline is generally seen in what here? Epithelial cells here. That is nothing but the morphology of that change in hyaline is seen there as such here. Okay. Hyaline droplets in the proximal tubular epithelial cells. Proximal tubular means in what here? Kidney there as such here. Inside the kidney there as such here. Okay, there in nephron, whatever the proximal tubular epithelial cells are there as such here. In these cells, okay, these droplets are seen. Okay, hyaline degeneration of rectus abdominis muscle called Janker's degeneration occurring in typhoid fever is also seen. The muscle loses its fibrillar staining and becomes glossy and hyaline. Okay, nuclear or cytoplasmic hyaline inclusions. Nuclear or cytoplasmic hyaline inclusions seen in some viral infections here. That is the thing there. Hyaline in that is nothing but inclusions seen in nucleus as well as cytoplasm of some cells there as such here. Okay, in viral infections here. Extracellular hyaline there as such here. Extracellular hyaline is seen. Okay, extracellular hyaline is seen in connective tissues. A few examples of extracellular hyaline change are as under there as such here. Hyaline degeneration in okay, that is what? Leiomyomas. Okay, of the uterus there as such here. Hyalinized that is glomeruli in chronic glomerulonephritis there as such here. Okay, corpora amylaceae. Okay, corpora amylaceae, that is what? Amylaceae are rounded masses of what? That is what? Concentric hyaline laminae seen in prostate, in the elderly, in the brain, and in the spinal cord, in old age, and in old infracts of the lung there as such here. Okay, hyaline old scar of fibrocollagenous tissues there as such here. These can also be seen there as such here. Hyaline arteriosclerosis in renal vessels, in hypertension and diabetes mellitus there as such here. Can also be seen there as such here. Hyaline arteriosclerosis there as such here. Okay, this hyaline will also be seen deposited inside the cells there as such here. Mucoid change is also there as such here. Okay, mucoid change, that is means mucus will be secreted. Mucus secreted by mucus glands is a combination of proteins. Okay, mucus secreted by mucus glands is a combination of proteins complex with mucopolysaccharides there as such here. Mucin, glycoprotein here. These are the things there. Then connective tissue mucin there as such here. Okay, mucoid change there as such here. Okay, under mucoid change, they have given what here? Different things here. Connective tissue mucin. Okay, then subcellular alterations in cell injury they have given here. Subcellular alterations in cell injury that they have they have given here. Hydropic change, subcellular mucoid change. Okay, these are the morphology in. Okay, mucoid change. Okay, mucoid change is there. Okay, connective tissue, that is what here? Mucin. Subcellular alterations in cell injury there as such here. Subcellular alterations, whatever are there. Okay, whatever are the subcellular alterations in cell injury here, those can be seen there as such here. Subcellular alterations in what here? Yes, extracellular hyaline. Okay. That was nothing but it was associated with what here? Morphologic features there as such here. In the next one is there, it is nothing but the subcellular alterations in cell injury there as such here. Certain morphologically distinct alterations at subcellular level are noticeable in both acute and chronic forms of cell, endoplasmic reticulum and mitochondria there as such here. Subcellular alterations in cell injury there as such here. They have given it here. Okay, after all these things here, subcellular alterations in cell injury. Cytoskeleton, we know it very well there as such here. Okay, those are happening in case of these particular what here? Subcellular level there as such here. At cellular level, lysosomal changes may also occur there as such here. Okay, lysosomals. Okay, then SCR changes. SCR means what? Yes, students. Anyone? What is the meaning of SCR?
Smooth endoplasmic.
Yes. Smooth endoplasmic reticulum. SCR means will undergo some changes here. Then mitochondrial changes will also occur here. Okay, mega mitochondria. Okay, then intracellular accumulations are also there as such here. It will also occur there. Intracellular accumulations there as such here. Okay, intracellular accumulations there as such here. Okay, that thing will happen there as such here. Okay, intracellular accumulations here. Under that particular this thing will fatty change will occur there. Okay, fatty change under this particular accumulation, intracellular accumulation here because of the deposition of the fat there as such here. That is occurring there as such here. Intracellular accumulation there as such here. Okay, intracellular accumulations of the substances in abnormal amounts can occur within the cytoplasm, especially lysosomes there, or nucleus of the cell there as such here, or nucleus of the cell. This phenomenon was previously referred to as infiltration. Okay, implying thereby that something unusual has infiltrated the cell from outside. from what here, outside, which is not always the case. Intracellular accumulation of the substance in mild degree causes reversible cell injury, while more severe damage results in irreversible cell injury. Such abnormal intracellular accumulations can be divided into three groups. Accumulation of constituents of normal cell metabolism produced in excess. Example, accumulation of lipids, that is fatty change, cholesterol deposits, okay, lipids, proteins, and carbohydrates. Okay, in addition, deposits of amyloid and urate, okay, are discussed separately, okay, later there, etc. Then second one, accumulation of abnormal substances produced as a result of abnormal metabolism due to lack of some enzymes. Example, storage diseases or inborn errors of metabolism. These are okay. These diseases there. Then accumulation of pigments, like pigments. Example, endogenous pigments under special circumstances and exogenous pigments due to lack of enzymatic. Okay, what here? Okay, that is what here due to lack of, and that is enzymatic mechanisms to degrade the substance or transport them to other sites. These pathologic states are okay discussed below there as here. Fatty changes given there. Okay, endogenic pigment is there, exogenic pigment is there. So many pigments are there as here. Okay, endogenic pigment, exogenic pigment. Okay, endogenic pigment means the pigment formed inside the cell here, and the pigment which is outside the cell, it will be called as exogenous pigment there as such here. Okay, exogenous pigments due to lack of enzymatic mechanisms here. Accumulation of pigments, example, endogenous pigments under special circumstances here. Okay, then fatty change, steatosis they have given here. Fatty change, steatosis or fatty metamorphosis there as such here is the intracellular accumulation of neutral fat within parenchymal cells there as such here. It includes the older, now abundant term of fatty degeneration and fatty infiltration. Okay, because fatty change neither necessarily involves degeneration nor infiltration here. The deposit is in the cytosol and represents an absolute increase in the intracellular lipids here. It is especially common in the liver, but may occur in other non-fatty tissues like the heart, skeletal muscle, kidneys. Okay, lipoid nephrosis. Okay, that is what lipoid nephrosis or minimum change disease here, and other organs here. Fatty liver is the one thing there at the students. Fatty liver is the one such condition here. They have given condition of fatty liver, etiology of fatty liver. They have given there what is the cause, what are the causes, as well as pathogenesis of that particular disease. Also, they have given there at such here. Remember it here. Pathogenesis here. Okay. Under pathogenesis, different things they have described there at such here. Okay. Yeah, this is idea here regarding this particular morphologic change there at such here. Okay, fatty liver. Okay, liver is the commonest site for accumulation for fat because it plays central role in fat metabolism there as such here. Okay, depending upon the cause and amount of accumulation, fatty change may be mild and reversible or severe, producing irreversible cell injury and cell death there as such here. Etiology, fatty change in the liver may result from one of the two types of causes here. Conditions with excess fat, hyperlipidemia, exceeding the capacity of the liver to metabolize it, then liver cell damage, when fat cannot be metabolized in it. These causes are listed below there as such here. Okay, these causes are listed below. Okay, conditions with excess fat. Okay, example, when it is there, excess fat condition, obesity, diabetes mellitus, congenital hyperlipidemia, liver cell damage, alcoholic liver damage. Okay, alcoholic liver disease, then starvation, protein calorie malnutrition, chronic illness, tuberculosis, that is tuberculosis, then acute fatty liver in late pregnancy, then hypoxia. Okay, then after that hepatotoxins, then okay, carbon like that of carbon tetrachloride, chloroform, ether, aflatoxins and other poisons, drug induced liver cell injury. Okay, like this there as such here. Then Rett syndrome, in this particular conditions here, this may occur there as such here. Okay, liver cell damage there as such here. Okay, conditions with excess fat here. Okay, liver cell damage. Okay, when it will occur because of all these diseases there and all these things there as such here. Okay, that will be the thing there because of excess fat and because of liver cell damage. Okay, that fatty liver condition will occur there. That is etiology. And pathogenesis, mechanism of fatty liver. Okay, depends upon the stage at which the etiologic agent acts in the normal fat transport and metabolism here. Hence, pathogenesis of fatty liver is best understood in the light of normal fat metabolism in the liver here. Figure 3.16 is there. This is the figure there as such here. Lipids has free acids enter. Lipids has free acids enter the liver cell from either of the following two sources there as such here. Diet and adipose tissue there as such. If it comes, if it undergoes metabolism, it's okay, no problem. But if it do not undergo metabolism, this is a hepatocyte, normal hepatocytes. Okay, if the metabolism do not occur, that fat gets accumulated inside the hepatocytes, harming to the hepatocytes there as such. That is the thing there as such. Okay, students, here then. This part is almost over. That unit number 1 there at such. Okay, few things are remaining. That is inflammation and so many other things there at such. These things we will see tomorrow there at such. And almost this particular unit, okay, whatever is there, it is over now there at such. Endogenous pigments are either normal constituents of cells or accumulate under special circumstances there at such. Okay, these things we will see tomorrow there at such. Any doubts so far regarding this?